it meant anything goes. Anyone could die, anyone could fall in love, anyone could die, anyone could fall in love, anyone could die, anyone could die.
Asian Apocalypse.
Concept was so cool.
Asian Apocalypse.
Concept was so cool.
People couldn't believe it. They had to believe it. People couldn't believe it. They had to believe it.
Everything that you had come to know and love. Out the window. Everything that you had come to know and love. Out the window. Everything that you had come to know and love. Out the window.
I'm Jeremy Greer.
And I'm Gary Butterfield.
And this is the amazing Days of Future Cast. We should add adjectives to this podcast every single time that we introduce it.
Yeah. I like uncanny.
So
the uncanny Days of Future Cast.
Episode 1 through 149 was adjectiveless Days of Future Cast. And now, from now on, we're going to be in many different routes.
I can't wait until we get to Days of Future Cast Gold Team. I also, I know this is getting into business quicker than we usually do.
I love it.
But I just noticed something. I have to say it out loud. Why is the cover of this Apocalypse teabagging Magneto like they're just playing Fortnite or something?
Okay, so
or playing Call of Duty.
I was going to talk about this because I didn't read this as teabagging. I thought that he was doing like that porn star pose where you put your feet down and then do the cowgirl thing instead of just laying, standing up on your knees and doing it. Yeah. And I was going to give, Apocalypse points for some athleticism. Like, that's good. Like, that, some leverage.
It
some
requires
pressure.
a good core to fuck Magneto like that.
Magneto. Apocalypse does look like he has a good core. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Magneto has an excellent when you nut and she keep going face going on right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Please stop. Please stop.
God, stop. I'm out of crumb. Charles, you dream me dry.
He just says he's out of Charles. He's just out of genetic material.
Yeah, this is how Onslaught was formed.
Mr. Sinister is down there and saying it's just dust. I can't do anything with this. It's just dust.
Just scraping his Vas deferens. But yeah, this is a real weird pose. Like, this is as undignified as I've ever seen Apocalypse.
Yes.
Doing this porn star teabag pose. And Magneto laying on below him like a lover or victim.
Yes.
Either or.
So we start this issue, which I don't really remember anything that's been happening in this. Oh, this is them saving the people with all of the Sentinels.
This is the evacuation. We've shifted gears. They've done the evacuation. That was the first part of this, and then now we're going to deal with Apocalypse attacking the mansion and the X-Men responding to that.
Yeah.
I want to draw attention. Like, I like the name of this issue is called Parents of the Atom.
Yeah, sure.
Finally, there's been so many stories called Children of the Atom. It's like a really big X-Men thing. Mm-hmm. But those children's got parents.
I mean, I'm sure that they've done this, but like uncles, step-cousins.
Uncles of the Atom.
Step-cousins of the
cousin
Atom.
of the Atom. I like stepchildren of the Atom. That's like the Inhumans.
Yeah, exactly what that is. Did you hear that Marvel has apparently acquired the Aliens and Predator franchises, or IP, or whatever the fuck you call that nowadays?
I did not know that.
And yeah, like I saw it on Twitter because the first thing I hear about it is a dunk of like, I can't wait for all those rated PG Alien movies. And I'm like, just stop with the dunks already. You don't have to be that cool.
Yeah. I love the nonstop dunking on things we know literally nothing about.
Exactly.
Like Twitter is just a place to process news through this will suck and everything always sucks frame from like 40 people at the same time.
Yep.
And it's like I'm a curmudgeon, like as a critic. Like there's like, joke, like you were making that joke about me not liking The Last of Us and Cole liking it and stuff. I get that. But the difference between me and that is I actually play or watch the shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like I don't like stuff sometimes, but I'm not just going to be like, this thing's coming down the pike. It fucking sucks.
I actually hesitated before posting that because I was worried, like, am I hitting, like, cause nothing sucks than to have something true stated about you. Like, it's funny. Like, you never want to joke about something that's true. And I was like, this isn't, am I hitting too close to home because people actually like complain about this to Gary all the time? And I didn't think it was because it was so far to the fucking left field of what you usually are. That
like, not only do I like The Last of Us, but if I wasn't going to like it, it wouldn't be because it was feminist propaganda.
Exactly.
It's not me. It's also, it's funny too. Every once in a while, I'll watch out for fireballs. Cole gets cranky about like coal erasure, where like he's cranky about something, but nobody ever, like, we'll do an episode and we're both like real mean to it. And then people will be like, I can't believe Gary was really mean to that game. And Cole was like, I fucking hate that game. I said it was this. And nobody, like, it's just because he's more soft spoken. Everybody like assumes that he likes it.
Oh, that's really funny. Yeah, that's great.
It's funny. Yeah. So this starts off with like everything in the X-Men universe reflecting on Charles Xavier.
Before we even get too far into this thing that they have carved onto Charles Francis Xavier's tombstone, which is any dream worth having is a dream worth fighting for, just feels like the live, laugh, love of the X-Men, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, this feels like the most generic fucking bullshit. I skate to where the puck is, or if you're not paying, you're the product being sold kind of bullshit.
Yeah. I love the idea of them making replicas of this tombstone in a Target and hanging them up in their house. Yeah. Like Xavier, I'm sure that with the new Age of Apocalypse stuff, there's been some story where Xavier visits it.
Of course. Yeah.
And if not, that's a great pitch. Somebody do that.
Mm-hmm.
But him seeing this and being like, this is what you took from my entire body of work.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. You know, I went to Oxford, right? I was kind of educated.
I contain multitudes there. Okay.
Pretty sure this is just a Martin Luther King quote that I just had mentioned somewhere, like, and it's kind of out of context too. This feels real bad. Can we?
Yeah, this was in a paper. I cited this as a source. Like, did you not read the footnote?
Cited this
Eric,
as a source and
put
it on my tombstone. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's a powerful own to put something somebody didn't say on their tombstone. Like when you're talking about that comic about The Last of Us, like it is fine to put up that comic, but if you put that quote on my tombstone,
dude,
then we'd throw hands, ghost hands. So.
I just imagine people wandering into that the cemetery in France, and writing Jim Morrison lyrics on like H.P. Lovecraft's tombstone.
Or like Sean on all lyrics on Jim Morrison.
Sure, yeah, even better.
Tombstone.
Yeah,
the monkeys.
The monkeys is where I was about to go.
A powerful way to get haunted by an annoying ghost.
I'm Jim Morrison. Ooh, are you coming through from the other side, Jimmy?
Yeah, have you broken on through? Yeah, presumably. I'm sure that guy's done some shit.
All I know really about Jim Morrison, and I was kind of like weirdly obsessed with that dude when I was way young, in his weird book of poetry. But like when that movie came out, what was the line? He like did he does a ceremony with the witch in the desert or something, and it's like bonds the two of them together. And then later in the movie, he just cold breaks up with the chick, and she's like, we did a blood ceremony, and he's like, I'm sorry, baby, I was high. That's vivid memories of that from, I guess that's an Oliver Stone movie or something. I don't know why they were letting me watch the Jim Morrison documentary. I'm sorry, baby. I was high.
Yeah, I was high. That's funny. I've not seen that. When you said that movie, I was thinking of Wayne's World 2 where he shows up. I just forgotten about the ghost of Jim Morrison is a big part of that movie. So Magneto is reflecting on Xavier's grave, as he often
By
does.
the way, we're a comic book podcast.
Yeah, in full costume, and he's doing it while they're being attacked. Like,
yes,
where we last left this was in the last episode of X-Men, or issue of X-Men, where there has been threat level apocalypse, aka DEFCON Armageddon.
Very confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's in full costume and like talking about all of the stuff that he's going to do, and he gets targeted by Bishop. And then they have this conversation, and he's like, I can't believe you have time to reminisce. Like, I'm going to shoot you. And Magneto's like, no, you're not. I'm just going to destroy your gun. And then rebuilds the gun in his hand, which is going to be like an important thing later. And then tells Bishop, like, please fire over my left shoulder. And he does, where he hits an infinite. And all of these infinites were brought in by the Vanisher, who has Loki horns that are connected to his shoulder pads.
Yeah, Vanisher, Age of Apocalypse Vanisher is not a great costume, I gotta say. He's basically an infinite. He's just like an infinite with extra headgear and powers.
Yeah, not a good look for Vanisher. All of the Vanisher stands are...
Yeah, he's out. He brings them all and then disappears. They call him a coward. I was like, oh, this is his job. Magneto kills all the Infinites. They're made of metal.
Good job, guys.
Doesn't seem that much. And Bishop is like, that's too easy. And Magneto's like, of course it was. Like, Apocalypse is actually here and he's waiting to strike. This is actually going to be a huge problem. And then bam, Apocalypse is there. And I want to take a moment to camp out on this drawing of Apocalypse cradling Magneto after smashing him.
Mm-hmm.
Can you suss out the anatomy of this?
No, I cannot.
I find this very difficult to figure out what's happening here.
Yeah, because it looks like there's two legs. Yeah. So, okay. Apocalypse is crouching down on a pile of rubble. In between his legs is Magneto, and his chest is pressed against, like his torso is pressed against his left leg. Magneto's torso is pressed against Apocalypse's left leg, and then his legs are kind of splayed out in front. And the problem is, like, part of his cloak is behind one leg, and then part of his cloak is in front of the other leg. So it just looks like nonsense legs all over the place.
Yes. It's very Twister.
Also, Apocalypse brought his own skulls. Very cool.
I just noticed that. Or that's Xavier's skull.
Or
this is joining the party a little late.
Sure. Yeah,
from
absolutely.
Him smashing into the grave.
And like, I don't know why they drew Magneto looking like he is having the most restful sleep that he has ever had. I look at this and I am super jealous. Like, I would like Apocalypse to cradle
Casper mattress.
Yes, exactly.
CasperMattresses.com/Age of Apocalypse to get this free mattress and get the best night's sleep you've ever had.
So fucking weird. I want to go back just real briefly, because Magneto mentions that, or the narration mentions that he's only is wielding a fraction of his powers. Is that something we've talked about, or is that new? Because it's mentioned at the end of this book too, and I was reading this and I'm like, am I just this fucking, like, do I have this many holes in my brain that I don't remember something we covered like 2 weeks ago? Or
this has not come up in the comics we've covered. I think it happens in one of those prequels.
Okay.
So, and we'll see if we end up covering those. They're not great if I remember. They're kind of fun. So we'll see. So this is depowered Magneto. And I think they just do that so he can't just like turn the Earth's poles. Like Magneto could probably take Apocalypse.
Yeah.
At the height of his powers. Magneto's extremely powerful. So Bishop shoots him.
Yes.
He shoots him with his hand, like his rechanneled energy, like the energy of Apocalypse teleporting in, he rechannels.
Excellent. Apocalypse is suitably impressed and realizes that this is the mysterious stranger that the X-Men have been chasing since Seattle. And basically says, like, I'm going to capture you and send you to all of my telepathic people and figure out what the fuck your situation is. And then basically starts beating the shit out of Bishop at the same time.
Yeah. Yep. With his mega arms, because Apocalypse can get big fists.
I love big fists.
Just beating the crap, like kind of losing it. Just beating the crap out of him. Here, Magneto is bleeding. He calls him a butcher. You've gone mad. I curse you, etc. Claremontian dialogue of him, and they're basically just having their battle of like good versus evil in dialogue.
And Magneto's still rocking the double ponytail, which is just a strong statement for a white man in the 90s.
Brush that hair. Yep, gotta brush that hair.
So it's basically time to fight, and Apocalypse reveals that he knows that the child exists, that Magneto's kid, Charles Xavier, which is what she's called, Charles Xavier Leshner, is below in the secret tunnels, and Vanisher is off to get him. So, like, if you explode this stuff, I think this is, so if he reconfigured this plasma rifle, if it explodes, it's going to kill them both, and Apocalypse is saying, like, hey, it's definitely going to kill you. It may not kill me, and I'm definitely going to kill your kid if you die. So, do you have the bravery to do that? And of course, Magneto doesn't.
Yeah, Magneto, doesn't do it. And here's where they explain how he got depowered. Magneto took down Apocalypse's celestial ship, which, Apocalypse does have a gigantic ship shaped like an A, that has shown up in old X Factor things. And I guess, like, for people who were worrying where that ship was, like, why doesn't Apocalypse fly around in a spaceship anymore? This answers that question. Off camera, Magneto sunk it. That's how he lost his powers.
Gotcha.
He's Apocalypse basically just keeps villaining him, beating him up. In a blink of time, you'll be gone. So will your offspring. we go to the tunnels underground where Nanny is there walking around, and she's created like a little like womb. Like she's no longer an egg.
Somebody
just like a fun womb.
Please mod this into Death Stranding on PC. I just turn what's his name, the Walking Dead guy, into the nanny from this comic
Age
book.
of Apocalypse.
Yes, and
the
just
robot from Age of Apocalypse.
allow me to build roads and talk to my baby throughout the rest of the game, and have this many guns at the same time, because that game was kind of boring without guns.
There's two things I want to point out about this. One, I'm going to keep harping on this, how inconsistently the age and size of Charles Xavier is.
100%.
Because now he's roughly 1.5 feet tall. And he's been as tall as 4 feet. Second, this underground tunnel has a fun little snake that gets to see this whole thing going on. Is a snake in the upper right-hand corner?
Snake buddy.
What's up, dudes?
What's going on? Yeah. Somebody has also spray painted Apocalypse like sucks, maybe? Who's doing that?
Yeah, I don't know. These tunnels.
I also enjoy Charles's reactions while he's in the thing, which is very Death Stranding, because he's spooked at first when somebody appears out of nowhere, and then extremely excited when the nanny bursts out with all of its weaponry.
Yeah, Nanny turns into a big gun monster and kills Vanisher. Presumably, we actually don't know what happens there.
Yeah. They're going to be. This is going to be
some time. For a while. Yeah, time passes. We don't know how much time passes, but the X-Men get back from evacuating all those people off the coast. This is this specific team of X-Men. So we got like Banshee, Iceman, Storm, Quicksilver, Exodus, and Dazzler.
Nothing like introducing your team on page 13. Very late credits is what I'm saying. So they introduce, like, everybody jumps off and they're immediately trying to figure out what's going on. Somebody says Magneto, could have defeated all of these people in their sleep, but this looks like something serious. And they just can't
find his helmet. Yeah, they find his helmet, which earlier in the issue, he just took off to reminisce about Xavier. So it's not that big of a mystery here.
He was just holding it, and then he fell down.
Xavier would have wanted it this way because he could shut down my brain.
Yes.
So I like to take off the helmet when I talk to his tombstone. They basically they want to figure out what's going on. They talk about the tunnels and stuff, and as they're doing this, Vanisher pops out. And Iceman found him in the tunnel. So Iceman went and did a whole little adventure we don't get to see.
They are just robbing me of primo Iceman content, and it's so frustrating. I'm so sick of not getting my Iceman fantasies and on the page.
No. You gotta read the Iceman Limited series for that. They can look from his wounds and they make their medicine check and see that he was killed by short-range precision plasma, which means Nanny, which means that Charles' life is in danger. So Exodus and Dazzler go into the tunnels to find them.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Quicksilver figures the best person to ask about where Magneto and Bishop would be, is Angel. And so we switch over there. Angel is thinking like, it's all coming apart. I'm going to have to pick a side. I can't keep playing both ends. And this is when Quicksilver shows up and kind of like beats the hell out of him a little bit and basically calls him a loser.
His opening line is, "It must be nice, Worthington, to have running water." Which I don't know I was thinking about Quicksilver only having like a couple seconds to workshop that since he runs so fast, and that's why that line is so lame.
That would be my excuse too. Like, I wish I had that. Like, the reason that I'm so bad at jokes on podcasts is because I'm so quick with them. I'm so fast.
Super speed.
Yeah.
He goes, to rinse the blood off your hands. And it's like, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. He also dispatched the rest of, just a couple things ago, he dispatched the rest of the X-Men to go grab Rogue.
Yes.
Yeah. And let her know about Magneto being missing, because everyone's going to come together for X-Men Omega.
Yeah.
Where they all fight Apocalypse together. This is a pretty cool, like, badass Quicksilver scene. Beats him up. He dismantled his security system. Angel reaches for a gun and he grabs it and dismantles it into little pieces.
Very cool.
I like Quicksilver a lot.
I think Quicksilver has the shortest hair out of any other character in this arc or in any of these comic books.
That's true.
Yeah.
I didn't really notice that.
He's got some seriously long bangs, but other than that, like, it's just a normal haircut. So good on you.
He's got the shortest hair, by which you mean he's got like 6-inch bangs. So they go down to his chin, but that's as short as it gets. So they basically, he's like, "Hey, where did everyone go?" And Angel's like, "I'll tell you for free."
Yeah.
Bishop is being tortured at the Tabernacle of the Madrai in Quebec. That's in Quebec. I wonder why that is.
Very, very strange. Also, tabernacle. Like,
Yeah,
of all of the things that hold people, you went with tabernacle. Like not the stadium, not the church, not the academy.
Well,
institution,
not normal, like a normal church. Like they're a religion, but yeah, the tabernacle. For this, I love it. And Magneto is being, just held by Apocalypse, and Quicksilver has to choose like his father or his father's mission. Do I go save Bishop because that's what my father would have wanted to undo the timeline, or do I go save my father who I love?
Yeah. We jump over to the tabernacle where Bishop's getting.
Quebec's doing great, man.
Quebec is look
how beautiful Quebec is.
I would live in Quebec. Like you could probably get like a $1,200 a month 2-bedroom in Quebec somewhere. They have great internet. Like this would be great.
Yep.
Yeah.
In terms of Age of Apocalypse, this is like a paradise.
Yes. Other than the actual paradise that we have seen, this is the best paradise we've seen so far.
It's second best paradise.
We're at the Tabernacle of the Magi, and they are torturing Bishop in a kind of panel that looks reasonably cool. Like I kind of dig all of this.
Yeah.
And they are releasing the Shadow King from his bottle, I guess, and we get this full page spread that I very much like. Like this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah. And this is the Shadow King eating Bishop's memories essentially, and seeing this entire alternate timeline play out, and like kind of questioning if it's true and realizing that it probably is, and like this is a crazy fucking thing, and it gets to the point where he literally just drops out of Bishop.
Yeah, I love Bishop's memory of the founding X-Men.
Yes, everybody, he remembers the cover of X-Men #1 in 1962.
Yeah, you remember seeing a picture of it or something, and Shadow King decided to hone in on that. But this is very cool. He says, "Oh, Xavier, I remember him. He tried to mess with me. This can actually be the truth." And then he leaves. He can't create this bond with him. He's been expunged from it because of Bishop's weird mind. And then, Abyss comes, eats 2 Magi for fun, and then he says he's going to eat Bishop to get his memory.
Hell yeah! And he talks in different colored fonts. He
has lots of fonts. Like if you like different fonts, you will love Abyss.
Yeah.
In this, he's basically saying like this. This suggests that time is up for the Age of Apocalypse, and I can't allow that.
Yes.
So I'm going to kill this guy before he can, make the timeline jump.
I'm going to frip him, and I'm going to frip him good.
Frip him good. This is where I do my fripping. Fripping, what I do.
Yeah. Quicksilver goes back to Xavier's estate, having decided basically to pursue Bishop. And tells the team what happened, and it's like, yeah, we've got to go do the Bishop thing. And the last page of this issue is Storm trying to say like, hey, don't shut me out. Like you're making this really difficult decision. I know that this is hard for you. And he's like, I'm fine. I'm good. Don't worry about it. I'm all right.
Yeah. Storm also short hair. That's probably why they get along.
Short hair don't care. I love it.
Yeah, short hair don't care is what they have in common. They met on r/short hair don't care.
I was going to say onlybangs.com, but okay.
Onlybangs is way better. Why didn't you say that before my stupid?
Because I was moving my chair. I was so close.
Classic excuse. Because I was Quicksilver.
God, Onlybangs actually sounds like a thing that could be a website.
Only bangs? Sure. Like if you're sick of porn that has anything other than the bangs, I suppose.
It is absolute. Like you go there and it's a picture of a woman in not spandex, in like stockings, and I am a man looking for a woman or a woman looking for a man. So this exists.
Oh, cool.
So I'm not going to name the episode. That is what that just taught me.
Yeah. We don't need to do some buzz marketing for a porn site on this podcast. Don't want to get delisted. For that. And if we did, I would want it to be like a synergistic like X-Men porn site.
Sure.
Like Age of Cockalypse or something like that. Like there's probably Age of Cocktalypse. Like there's probably something we can do.
Like instead
Age
of
Consent.
Instead of AshleyMadyson.com, it'd be like MadysonPryor.com. Is that what we're
Yeah, Ashley Madrox.
AshleyMadrox.com.
Ashley Madison Pryor.
Are you looking for a woman that looks just like Jean Grey, and Jean Grey is your wife? we have a service for you.
Ashley Madison Pryor. That's really good, Jerry. You're on fire at the end of this episode. Where have you been hiding this for the last 90 minutes?
Wow, fuck you too, Butterfield. Where have you been hiding this for the last 90 minutes?
I throw some guppy energy at you.
Surprisingly insightful for you.
Ashley Madyson Pryor is exceedingly good. I'm very proud of you. It's really good. Oh man,
that's it.
So this is also leading into the fourth issue. Still have those number 4s to go, and then they're going to a mega, which is a big brawl. So we're getting everybody in the same place basically.
Yeah.
For the next couple weeks.
The comic book describes it as up next, a gathering of forces and a coming of death. So,
yep.
Super excited about that. This was okay. Again, this is all like piece setting. It feels like in the middle of this, which is weird because we spent all of our number 1 issues like introducing everybody and kind of checking in, and then like number 2 barely moved this plot at all, and then like now our number 3s are like, okay, let's get everybody in so we can
get everybody for the finale,
bash everybody against one another. This actually got me to go and look how many issues that we had left, because I was like, surely like we've got like 15 16 issues left, right? Like what are we doing?
Yeah it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing about the structure of an alternate reality side thing like this, where they have to set it up, and they also wanted this all, as opposed to doing a series of short stories that take place in this world, they wanted this all to tie together.
Yeah.
At the end, like the last issue is this double lengthed thing where it's like everybody's in the same book, and the next issue we're going to cover, which is X-Men number 3, is also kind of place setting, but is a little bit more action heavy and does the a coming of a death kind of thing, where like a lot of people die because it's Age of Apocalypse, and oh no, Age of Apocalypse, Toad is dead. Who gives a shit? Like, these major characters can die in the Age of Apocalypse. So they start actually doing some kind of more momentous feeling stuff a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we've got a little ways in these number 3s to do this stuff. And it'll be fun when it all comes together. I'm looking forward to Nation X. I like this stuff with the humans. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm looking forward to whatever we do next.
Yeah.
I've really enjoying Age of Apocalypse, but I will be interested to move to another zone.
Yeah. I want to do something good next. Like this is not bad, but I want to do something like unqualified good. So
yeah,
we'll see what we can come up with. In the meantime, if you want to support the show, ratings and reviews on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts are extremely helpful. Patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv is the way to support the show and the network directly. And you get a bunch of cool benefits from that. Exclusive content from Gary and Cole, access to the Slack channel where you can discuss what your profile paragraph would be on AshleyMadisonPryor.com. Just go ahead and dump a bunch of those in there, Weep Lord. I'm kind of curious what you would say. And yeah, all kinds of cool stuff. We appreciate each and every one of you that have done that. And we'll be back in a couple of days with X-Men 3.
Take care.